I met a man not that long ago in Newark who told me he was sleeping in an abandoned shipping container in what he described as not a very safe neighborhood. He said there were gunshots pretty much every night, and that it's colder in there than it was outside, and that each night he had to configure the doors of the shipping container in such a way that nobody could sneak in and no one could lock him in. And that was his existence.
We had a sign downstairs that actually saved after the flood. And the first thing people would see when they come in is say, "You are loved." And that's our whole mission.
What they need, and I think deserve, is housing. Basic housing. Not a big house up on a hill somewhere, but an apartment that is yours. That level of stability, that level of dignity changes everything. In March 2020, we were all told to just stay home, right? And our immediate reaction to that was, you can't do that if you don't have one.
We know that housing is healthcare, so that's something we knew way before the pandemic. So if you're able to be stably housed, you're much likely to have better health outcomes. So this is the time of year when we call it the pit count, the point in time count. It is what it sounds like. It's one night in January where we count all of the people who are homeless. So obviously it's problematic because that number fluctuates throughout the year, and obviously it captures one moment in time.
You can take whatever number there is telling you how many people are homeless on any given night, and you can triple it.
The one story that comes to mind all the time is that of a client in Newark that attends almost every single one of our Saturday runs. Now he's blind, but every time we meet, he will tell me about the latest movies that are coming out. Providing enough supplies for all these people, we need help at different stages. So if people are not willing to commit to being in person or in any other way, they can always run seasonal drives for bridges, collecting clothing, food, and things like that. And when you really think about it, there's still a lot more to be done.
I think service can be uncomfortable, and I think that we have to be okay with that. Putting yourself out there in situations that may feel strange. I think it's really nice when you can come to a church where service is such a huge part of its mission, because then I think you're combining fellowship with service, and obviously there's no greater way to serve God than to do something meaningful like this.
Our families are in apartments, like I mentioned, but they're still homeless. They're still in a really stressful situation, and they all have loved the home cooked meals that volunteers have made. And I think one of the reasons that is such a big deal for them is that they don't feel alone.
You just have to do it. Just do it, just do it, just do it. All you need is love to do it. If you're capable of that, you can do this.
You are going to the streets and handing a cup of soup or a brown bag lunch or a hygiene kit or cold weather pack or clothing item across the table to someone who really, really needs it. And on nights like tonight, when it's a code blue everywhere, you just might save a life or two.